Story number 3. These would be my kids on a section of the Farmington Canal Greenway system in Farmington, Connecticut. And they're part of the reason I'm really so fanatical about this there. And this is some years ago. They're now 9 and 11. And they remind me of the third reason, which is a story about a bridge in my own community. So I'm going to tell you this one. Some of you have heard it before, but you're going to have to hear it again. It turns out that a couple of years ago, we were going through some uproar in the Fenton family. I was leading Walking Magazine. I was launching a PBS TV show. I was writing a book. I was going through a lot of sort of professional things, starting to travel a lot. My kids were at the ages where one was going off to kindergarten and the other one was starting preschool, so our little babies were sort of leaving the nest, so I was going through that emotional sort of upheaval. My wife, and I was turning 40, so I was going through the midlife crisis thing, and my wife thought I was going to have like the total mental breakdown and come home with like a Corvette or some foolish purchase. So she said, you know what we need to do? We need to go out to dinner to our favorite place. So I'm going to take you to the place downtown. It's the little restaurant we love. And we're going to have I love the husband you have become talk. Okay, that's what the talk was. It's okay, you're fine, everything's all right. And as it happens, as we were coming home that night, we go over a bridge between the downtown and our town. I live in a town called Situate, Massachusetts, outside of Boston. And in my neighborhood, there's a tidal estuary, a stream that flows with the tide. And at high tide, the water kind of whips through there sort of deep, and it's kind of fun. And it turns out one of the local rites of passage is to jump off the bridge. But you really got to know your way around because at low tide, it's too shallow and you can really get hurt. You can fall on the rocks and stuff like that. So as it happens, we're coming home that night, and there's some kids, 2 young girls, probably age 12, I don't know, hanging on the bridge. That's the water. They're on the bridge with their arms over the railing, going like this, and looking very scared, like they're not going to jump. And I hear a boy, like a 14-year-old boy down in the water, go ahead, jump already, hurry up. And they say, is it cold? No, it's not cold, just hurry and jump. How come? Well, the current's moving. Are you sure it's not too fast? No, it's fine. Just hurry. Why do we have to hurry? Because it's cold. So, this intellectual repartee is going on. And so my wife and I'm elected member of a board in town, socially responsible. As we go by, I've got a couple of options. I obviously could say to them, hey guys, get off the bridge, come on, somebody's going to get hurt. Come on, knock it off. It's the standard, it's always funny until someone puts out an I response, right? That's the standard. Well, I suppose we can let them go, because kids will be kids, and you got to let them do their thing, right? So do you agree those are my options? Yeah. Somebody else says jump. Yeah, okay. So there's a loser. Let's all vote. We don't have to use your clickers. Just raise your hand. How many say, tell the kids to get off the bridge? Be a responsible grown-up. Thank you. One responsible grown-up. How many say, is that Lori? Thank you. No. Okay. How many say, let them jump? They're kids. They got to do their thing. Come on. Nobody's voting. Well, how many say jump? Yeah, sure. All right. So here's the trick. This is honestly what happened. My wife and I are going. We look at the kids. I can tell they're fairly young. I can tell just by looking at them. They haven't done it before. I look at my wife. She looks at me. This is exactly how it happened. I said not a word. She looks at me and she goes, oh, just give me your wallet. Go ahead. I know what you want to do. Go on and jump in. Just give me your wallet and take those shoes off. Swear to God. It's like, really? I can't get my wallet. I climb over the railing. I'm standing next to them. I go, you guys want, if I jump with you, will you go? That's a good role model. And they go, you're jumping? And the kid in the water, hey, mister, are you jumping? Like I need to hear, hey, mister, on my 40th birthday. Yeah, on you. Yeah. So I got this. This is what I do. I go, I'll jump with you. It's deep enough. I'm from this neighborhood. I know I've jumped here. It's fine. The current's quick, but you'll swim over. And they say, really? Yeah. So I go, 1, 2, 3. I jump. Whoosh, and they don't. And then they jump. And we all swim over the side. Everything's fine. There's one little detail that I didn't tell you about the story. What do you suspect my mode of travel that evening was to dinner and back? What was it? Could I have been driving in the car? Would it have happened that way were I driving in the car? Could it? Because when I was walking, I was this close to the girls when I went by. So I could see them in their eyes. And in fact, I recognize them because I walk and bike all over my town. I'm lucky enough to live in one of those kind of towns. And I see them around. I didn't know their names or anything. And they see me, too, by the way. As the guy, I'm the weird guy that will ride his bike with a 24-pack of toilet paper strapped on the bed. I'm that guy. I'm a weirdo. But I'm probably not a pedophile because they see me with my kids and I'm a normal member of society and stuff. So they're not scared of me when I go to jump with them. And they sort of recognize me. And the whole dynamic is so different. Because I was on foot, and in fact, I'm on foot or on my bicycle so much in the town. And in the instant when I was that close to them, they were my kids.
See, they've got to be my kids when I'm that close to them. There's no way they cannot be our kids when we're that close to them. Because they are all of our kids, you guys. Right? Always. If I had woken up the next day and my wife and I had heard, God forbid, one of them had gotten hurt or something, I would feel horrible. So they had to be my kids that night, and I had to make a decision and be part of it somehow. There was no way you go by when you're that close. You're in 3,000 pounds of steel and metal and glass, zip right by. Don't even notice them, right? To me, that is at the essence of why we cannot just win battles. Because we can't just have the handful of us who are lucky enough to live in those communities or have that nearby trail. It has to be that way everywhere because they are all our kids all the time. They deserve nothing less. It is not appropriate that they be part of potentially the first generation in 100 years to have statistically shorter life expectancies than us because they don't get enough physical activity. That's unconscionable. And indeed, every congressman and elected official should know it, and everybody at the local level and at the state level, everybody should know that. We know how to build these places. You guys have already done a phenomenal job of it. If you're here right now, you know it in your heart. We just need to keep telling the story. We need to get everybody on board with this. They are all of our kids. Let's never forget it. I can't thank you guys enough for your great work so far. Keep it up. Thank you for putting up with me this afternoon. You guys are awesome.